keeping an eye on this. So 2 months right now, just 2 months before the midterms, the Justice Department is demanding millions of North Carolina voting records be turned over to immigration authorities. They're not saying why, but the speculation is that they're trying to do something about voter fraud claims. So just be aware of it, because if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. Next thing we want to let you know, and we're going to talk about this, is people were burning their Nike gear before the Colin Kaepernick ad was even released. Well, but you know what? So we're wondering what they thought when it was unveiled yesterday. Here's a little bit of it.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football. Play at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
Just a little piece of it. We'll make sure that we put it up on the View website so you can see all of it, because it is an inspiring ad. It focuses on aspiring athletes and it avoids the knee controversy. It is everything that Nike has stood for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be the best. Do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid of it. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. And know that sometimes there are consequences to what you do. Now, as Americans, we do just do it. So what do you think people will think of it once they actually see it? You might be a little pissed off that you burned your stuff and you didn't have to.
Yeah. And it's being played tonight, is my understanding, during the NFL game.
Yeah.
I think it's the Falcons and the Eagles. Am I right about that? Yeah. In Philly.
It's so good, it may make me be interested in football again.
I know.
As if I ever was.
Did you just say again?
No, I don't. But I think that it will make people angry again. That's all. It just makes people angry on the right who don't like this, the people who burn their sneakers, who insist upon that the flag must never be burned and you must never take a knee during the anthem because it's unpatriotic, not realizing that that is one of the most patriotic things you can do in this country.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's impossible not to like that ad. This is, as you said, this is what Nike is the best at. They make these really inspiring ads that motivate you to want to be your best. And they highlight stories. Some of these stories in the ads, Seattle Seahawks, the man without the hand, Shaquem Griffin. I mean, how incredible. I didn't even know about his story. You also have a refugee, Alphonso Davies, who he plays on a Canadian league. This is what Nike is best at. I think you can love this ad and love the inspiration. And where I come from, where I stand on this, is I do think kneeling for the national anthem is disrespectful. I think you can fall in both places there, in both camps. And I was thinking this morning about what the national anthem means to me, and I realized that it means something different for everybody.
Yes.
Right? It means something different for everyone, and everyone's going to have a different reaction to that. The reason that I feel you should always stand and put your hand on your heart, I think about this country fighting against evil and how we have come up ahead every single time. I think about the men and women who've made that ultimate sacrifice, and I think about the coffin that comes home with the flag over it. And I think about all the mistakes this country has made and all the times we've bettered ourselves because of those mistakes. That's why I stand, and that's why I put my hand on my heart.
You do understand what I said, though, that it's a very patriotic thing to burn the flag or take the knee. That's a patriotic move. It means I love my country so much that I'm willing to take it on. And I know that Mother America will forgive me for what I've done, because they know they will take care of me because I'm an American, even though I'm saying this is wrong and this is wrong. And I'm doing it symbolically by taking a knee. Do you understand that?
Is there another way to do that, then?
But it doesn't have to be another way. It's your choice as an American how you want to protest. That is in the very Constitution. And when I think about the national anthem, you know, quite frankly, the national anthem has a racist history. If you look at the third stanza of the national anthem, it talks about slaves. It talks about slaves being less than human. And when I listen to the national anthem, I think about the fact that, yes, we have this American flag that's talking about liberty and justice for all. But when my son gets into a car, because he's going to start driving this year, I'm very afraid when he drives down the street that because of the color of his skin, he is going to be stopped by a police officer and may not come home to me. So that means to me that the America that I've been promised, my son may not get to see that promise.
You know, white people need to reverse roles a little bit with people of color in this country and try to understand what's going on.
Can I just point something out? I want to point something out also.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems, I think, that one of the biggest disconnects that I think has been sort of promoted by the guy in the White House is that for some reason these guys are not patriotic, that they're not, you know, they don't fundamentally understand. And I want to point out that a lot of these folks in the NFL, their fathers and grandfathers went to war because they were the first ones called in Vietnam and in a lot of places. So when we think about this, and we think about how long, you know, we didn't get the vote in this country till 1968. When you think about all of the things that have been happening and this sort of lackadaisical idea that it's okay for people to say you're not American because you're not doing what, you know, fascists do that. Fascists say you either do this or you do that. We can love our country, we can be patriotic, we can be heroes. We can also be angry at some of the things, as I said the other day. The flag doesn't cover everybody. I know. But the flag doesn't always cover everybody the same way. So I never want people to forget, the people who are burning shoes or the people who are celebrating these athletes, that these athletes have a history and they have families too. And a lot of their families served in our past wars at a time when they were not considered to be good enough to march and be with white soldiers. So we have a lot of history. We're making our movement. But thank God the founding fathers said, listen, you have the right to protest. You can protest, and as long as you are protesting and not hitting anybody, hurting anybody, we're not mad at you. We know you're pissed off. We get it. That's why I keep saying the best way for us to talk about this is to be able to say, here's why folks are pissed off. Here's why they may be angry. And I can say I totally understand where you're coming from, but I also understand them. We'll be right back.